Introduction. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Again, I am Tarika. I'm the trainer for the Office of Portfolio Management. So just wanted to point out, we have our, I guess, our cover page of our presentation, or I don't want to call it a presentation because like Donna said, this is about our partners and hearing from you. But of course, we will cover some things to get us started. So this is the City of Atlanta City View, but I do want to just point out that while our offices are in the City of Atlanta, we acknowledge and we're very proud to serve all of Georgia. So thank you to everybody from all over for being here today. So Donna just did our welcome, so thank you for that. Each manager is this is what we'll cover for today. So each manager will introduce their teams, and I did ask that everyone on the team just give their name and then where they're originally from. So what's really cool about town halls is it's about getting the community together. And while we're here at OPM and DCA, we are one community, but everybody comes from different places. So it's really neat to hear where everybody comes from. So we'll introduce the team so that you all can put faces to the names, get to see the Office of Portfolio Management team. And then we'll go over some topics. So we'll talk about the DCA LIHTC compliance manual changes. As you know, there have been some changes with the new regulatory updates, HOTMA and Inspire. So we'll talk about that. We'll go over regulatory prerequisites and Inspire in a little bit more depth, excuse me. We'll talk about management company change policy, closing out open items. What's the big deal? Important reminders, timelines and updates, the audit inspection review process, monthly reporting requirements, and lastly, non-compliance issues and next steps. So if I'll just kick it to Jillian, since I can see you, to start us off with who you are, your team, where you're from, and then your team, please, their name.
Wonderful, absolutely. My name is Jillian Toole. Nice to meet everyone, and thank you for joining us. I am the manager of the Special Projects team under OPM, and I am originally from New York, New York. And my team currently consists of Steve Volkovic as our lead, Dylan Simmons as our specialist, and Amy Marland as our program assistant.
And if each person, I'm sorry, on the team can also unmute and just say where you're from. Your name and where you're from.
Sure, this is Steve Volkovic, and I'm from Astoria, New York.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Dylan Simmons, and I'm from Gray, Georgia.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Amy Marland, and I'm originally from Buffalo, New York.
Nice. Who do I see? I'm kicking it to Sherry. I can see you.
Of course. So hi, everybody. Thank you again for coming. So you'll probably hear that a lot throughout the day. My name is Sherry Potter. I'm Assistant Office Director for Office of Portfolio Management, or OPM. I will be acting on behalf of the Policy and Development team. So I'll be acting as their manager today. And so I will introduce LaQuana Johnson, who is our Policy Analyst, Jasmine Hawkins, who is our Portfolio Analyst, Marbetta Walker, who is also our Portfolio Analyst, Patricia Kokatan, who goes by Tricia, who is our Portfolio Analyst as well. And I'm from a couple places. I am from Alabama, Florida, specifically Miami, and North Carolina, and then Georgia.
Now, where are you from? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if they will claim me, but I'm going to say Alabama. I'm just going to take Alabama. It's born and raised Alabama.
Okay. That team, please.
Hi,
I'm LaQuana Johnson. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hi, I'm Marbetta Walker. I'm also from Alabama, Livingston, Alabama.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Hawkins, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Tricia Kokatan, and I'm originally from East Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, I didn't know that. Who do I see? Princess.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Princess Cato. I am the Compliance Manager of In-House Inspections and Regulatory Submissions. I am from Petersburg, Virginia, which is 21 miles outside of Richmond. I do have a team of 5 Keith Dollar, Brandon Carter, Dorothy Robinson, Kiana Britton, and Tori Sattler.
And that team, please.
My name's Keith Dollar. I'm from Fort Washington, Maryland, originally.
Kiana,
Sadler, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Kiana Britton from Nashville, Tennessee.
And I'm Dee Robinson, born in Alabama, but I am an Atlanta girl. So
That's the whole team, right? Okay, nice. Thank you. Amari.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Imari Blackwell. I'm the manager of compliance, audits, and contract inspections. I have a team of 4. I have COs. I have Nakia Rowland. I have Jasmine
What about
Smith.
ongoing commitment to insurance?
I have Jasmine Smith. I have Misty Jones, and I have Michelle Everett. And I'm originally from North Carolina, born there, and I was raised in Atlanta. And I'll just pass it off, whoever, Nakia, if you want to pop it off and just keep it rolling.
Hi, I am Nakia Rowland, and I am from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi, I am Jasmine Smith, and that's always a loaded question for me because I'm a military brat. But I went to high school in Alabama, so I guess I'll claim Alabama.
Oh, and happy Wednesday. We have so many from Alabama, but I'm Misty Jones and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Michelle joined us via phone. She had a few appointments to take care of, so I'm not sure if she's actually able to, but Michelle resides in Macon.
Nice.
Okay.
And she's from Cairo, Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Because I thought it was Cairo, Egypt.
Yep.
That's why I remember.
Yep. Thank you, Julie.
Okay. Okay, so is that all the managers? And then let's let Joy and our newest addition to the team, Jasmine, if she's on the call.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joy Hardiman. I am the administrative assistant for the Office of Portfolio Management, and I am from Decatur, Georgia.
And is Jasmine Taylor on the call?
Hi, yes, good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Taylor. I am the new temp. I will be assisting the OPM team, doing filing transfers, and I am from Philly. Go Birds!
Nice. Hey. And Crystal Keys, is she on the call? Okay. So then I think that's everyone that's in attendance. Thank you, everybody. So nice to hear from all of you, see all of you, hear about where you're from, because I didn't even know some of these, and go Philly. All right. So that was what we'll cover. But once again, like Donna said, the most important thing here is the town hall is to talk about, is for you to share your thoughts and feedback on how we are doing and ask your questions. And so we can see what questions we can answer for you. What can we clarify? So we're going to jump right into it, and I'm going to kick us off. So I'm going to talk about the DCA LIHTC and Home Compliance Manual, what's changed. So as you know, we recently published our updated compliance manual that was published in March. Where's my policy team? March 2024, I think that was officially published. Yes, so this updated compliance manual contains, thanks, Sherry. The updated compliance manual contains, again, the updated regulatory requirements and policies. So I'll just point out, I'm going to go through really the table of contents, talk about the high level changes, and then I'm going to pass it on to Tricia. So just if we look at the cover of the compliance manual, this is the DCA LIHTC and Home Compliance Manual, the updated 2024 version. If we look at the cover page, the very first thing that you'll see that there is an addition to the cover, and it says, now for up-to-date information regarding our programs, please visit our website regularly, the operative word being regularly. So we are making a concerted effort, an even greater concerted effort to update our website to keep you all informed, especially with those policies that have the propensity to change, any fees or dates or anything like that. So please do check the website regularly for updates. So looking at the first thing that has changed regulatory or policy-wise, we're looking at Inspire. We've added Inspire findings and cures. So I won't say too much about this topic because Princess is going to go into this a little bit later in this meeting. But what I will say is the compliance manual breaks down the inspectable areas. So that is now includes the inside, outside, and the dwelling of the unit itself. The inspectable areas are different from UPCS. So that's the Uniform Physical Condition Standards. So I will say here, just do familiarize yourself with those areas, as all the buildings must be physically maintained per guidance from the IRS and HUD. Also, there are findings and cures has been added and provides instructions on how to submit cures documentation, excuse me, and how to submit it in the emphasis certification portal. So there's step-by-step directions now added on how to submit your cures documentation. Okay. Next, we have PHA verification. PHA verification of household income is the gross income that is used before any adjustments that the PHA makes to calculate rent. The HUD 50058 certification form may be used as verification. If it's not possible to obtain the 50058 form, the IRS 50058 form from the PHA, a signed statement from the PHA may also be used to verify income. So while PHA verification of income is an option, I'm sorry, I said IRS, it's a HUD form. While PHA verification of income is an option for LIHTC, the new HOTMA provision makes PHA verification of income a requirement. So that's for all households in home units that hold housing choice vouchers with the PHA at move-in and recertification. So the basic process for verification is the same as the LIHTC program. You're just going to use the gross income that is used for home purposes. And this policy can be found in Chapter 4, starting on page 111. All right, next, when I was putting this slide together for Safe Harbor, I was thinking about that like daunting emoji, the scratching head, daunting face. I know this was brought up at the conferences. Safe Harbor has been added to the compliance manual. Before, Safe Harbor was not applicable, so you will not see Safe Harbor in previous iterations of our compliance manual. Now, HOTMA expanded PHA verification rules into a bigger allowance that allows owner agents to make income determinations from other means-tested programs, not just PHAs. So here's a list of the means-tested programs that are allowed to be used to determine income. And that full regulatory update can be found in Chapter 4 on page 112. Just something to note here that this does not apply to home units. The Safe Harbor rule does not apply to home units. All right. The $50,000 asset limit. Before the earlier iteration, there was not to exceed $5,000. Now we are looking at $50,000 as the threshold. So Nothing is more fun than calculating the assets for a household, I am sure. But I think everyone can agree that just expanding the threshold has made asset calculations just easier, I hope. So that can be found in chapter 4, starting on page 113. So previously, when determining asset income, if the cash value of a household's assets were $5,000 or less, self-certification was allowed and third-party verification was not required. Now the HOTMA update increases that cash value to $50,000 as adjusted, and therefore self-certification is allowed where household assets do not exceed $50,000 in cash value. Okay, and again, chapter 4 starts on page 113, that policy. All right, moving right along, we're looking at periodic and sporadic income. In the previous version of the LIHTC and Home Compliance Manual, when determining what is counted as income under the umbrella of anticipated income, we had two categories. We had periodic and we had sporadic. However, HUD did not provide a definition for those terms, which made it difficult to decide what was included and what should be included and what should be excluded between periodic and sporadic. Now with HOTMA, HUD still does not provide definitions for those terms, periodic and sporadic, but what it does do is HOTMA now counts both periodic and sporadic as income. So both are now counted as income, and only non-recurring income is excluded. So that is income that will end within 12 months following a certification date, and that will not repeat the following year. And if you look in the previous version of the compliance manual, you will see a definition for periodic and sporadic. That is a DCA GHFA provided definition. So that was not a definition that was provided previously from HUD.
Yeah.
And this, I'm sorry? Yes,
guys?
Steve, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring your attention that some questions may wind up in the chat, and there is one there that may have been addressed to a prior slide, and it says, how about the HUD form 50059? Is this acceptable? And it was submitted by Lisa Martin Poor. I don't know if you wanted to address questions after each section of the slides or what.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen, for bringing that up. I
Sure.
did not say at the beginning. Sorry about that. That was a housekeeping item. The way that we did set it up is we're gonna go through sections of information, and then we're gonna take questions after each person presents. And for our case, the compliance piece, it'll be me, Trisha, and Dylan, and then we'll take questions just after that. So we do have someone manning the chat, and we do have somebody looking at questions. So if you could just hold that thought, and we'll come back. We'll come back to it in a moment's time. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
All right, so the periodic and sporadic is chapter 5, starts in chapter 5 on page 115. All right, student assistance. This one, kind of a doozy. Before HOTMA, for households not receiving Section 8 assistance, any scholarships or grants were excluded as income. So again, any scholarships or grants were excluded as income. HOTMA has introduced a new way to calculate student assistance income. However, language in HUD annual appropriations bills for recent years presents a different rule for Section 8 recipients. So therefore, until the appropriation language changes, HUD has opted to continue to follow that former student assistance rules. So if you're still confused about this, like I am, I've reviewed this policy over and over. It is quite confusing. But if you are still confused like I am, the new updated compliance manual does have two flow charts, one for determining student income when the household is receiving Section 8 assistance, and then one for calculating income when Section 8 assistance is not present or the household is not receiving Section 8 assistance. And that does make this much clearer. So do refer to Chapter 5. All of that can be found pages 140 through 146. That's for student financial assistance, the rules between Section 8 and non-Section 8, and where we are with it now. All right. And then lastly, the last thing you will see in the actual table of contents that refers to any changes that you'll find in the manual is on page 149 of the updated compliance manual. And you will find that there is an additional asset type to consider. So formerly, personal property was only counted as an asset if it was being, quote, held as an investment, quote unquote, held as an investment. With HOTMA rules, all assets are either personal property or real property. So the previous compliance manual, there were 11 types. Now you will see in our updated compliance manual, you will see that 12th type, and that's only necessary personal property is excluded. Necessary personal property are essential to so the definition, I guess, if you will, necessary versus non-necessary. Necessary personal property are essential to the family or necessary for employment, education, health and wellness. So these are things that are essential for the family's like day-to-day living and their safety and well-being, or pertinent for their occupation. So that's things like cars, clothing, furniture, personal computers, professional tools, medical equipment, and more. So to get a full list of the necessary assets, you can look at Chapter 7. That starts on page 149. And that's for all the changes that you'll see, starting with the table of contents. If you go further into the table of contents, you'll see that there are no changes between chapters 7 and 12. That includes, but not limited to, the following topics: rules for acquisition, rehab, and syndication, correction and consequences of noncompliance, management company change approval process, and recertifications. While there's no changes per se to those policies, some of our team will be going over some of these policies as they stand. There's no changes to them, but we'll just be going over them, reiterating and just reminding you of our policies and processes for that. And truly lastly, pages 8 through 10 of the new compliance manual. That's where you'll find a full list of updates. These updates are not the ones that I went over previously that are related to any policy or regulatory updates. These are a list of they're updates because they were clerical errors or they were things that were in need of further clarification. After reviewing the compliance manual, we found that they were in need of further clarification. So what Costello Compliance has done for us is put all of those in one place. So pages 8 through 10, you'll see a full list of updates clarifying any of those previous errors or clarifications. And that is it for the compliance manual updates. I just want to make a note here to say that there will be I know that was very quick and I can't really go into the policies now because again, this is your time, but I just wanted to point out those changes and let you know that there will be a full compliance manual update, a full compliance manual training going over what's changed. So you can look forward to that in the compliance training. And with that, I'll pass it to Tricia. Thank you. And we'll take questions shortly.
Thanks, Tarika. First of all, as you can see, one of the most important things for you all to do, if you would please, is to make sure you sign up for the monthly OPM blast, which is the monthly compliance newsletter. This details how you can sign up for it. It comes out about the 15th of each month. If after you've signed up and the 15th has passed, and you didn't receive it, double check to make sure, go back into where you signed up to begin with and double check to make sure that it actually took. And if it did and you're still not receiving it, then you need to speak to your IT department because there's a problem with what Constant Contact is sending and how your IT department is pulling it in. Also, we have special blasts that sometimes come out, so they will also, we don't give you an advance notice on that, but you get a special blast maybe once every other month. One of the other things that we just did, thank you. One of the other things we just did is we defined the student status certification form and have posted it on our website. Since 100% tax credit properties no longer are required to do full certs, the student status certification form is important to use because it details who's in the household, who's still in the household, based on who was originally in the household, because that is important information, and it details everyone and their age. The form is on our website it's on our website under forms, and it's DCA student certification. Also right there is DCA student certification verification in case you need that. Please understand that DCA does not have mandated forms. So you may use your own form as long as it's answering and addressing all the same things that our form is addressing. Want to make sure to remind you all that and here's a picture of what the form looks like. I want to make sure to remind you all that you do have to address VAWA, the 5380 and the 5382, not just at move-in, but at recert. And finally, the last thing is we have created a HOTMA compliant tick. We had some of our partners state that they didn't have anything because the software is slow in coming out. So we created something. Again, it is not mandatory. You may certainly use it if you wish, but it's available should you not have anything available to you yet from your software provider. That's it for me.
Thank you, Tricia. I'm going to pass it to Dylan.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be doing a quick overview of utility allowance, specifically UA methodology changes. First and foremost, they are processed by SPT. Currently or previously, we had a fee, a PCC $1,500 fee for it. We are moving to that is no longer going to be a fee-worthy request, but you would still send your request to SPT. There's required documentation that has to be with every request. You can find this information in the manual, but it's also listed here on the slide. So that's going to include a cover letter of your current and proposed UA, a copy of that 90-day letter that you're going to send to your residents, as well as any of the supporting documentations, depending on which UA you choose. Next, please. Okay, so here is just, an overview of the UAs that we do have, and they are listed in our manual as well. One of the most important things, know which UA applies to your program. LIHTC properties can have a variety. If you have home funding, there's, very specific. It has to be a consumption-based method. So make sure that you understand the requirements of your program. If you have mixed UAs, so certain buildings have the PHA UA, and then another one has EACM. Make sure you know that information. You can find it in your final allocation application when you first got your credits, if you need any refreshers. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the special projects team. Our email address is in the presentation and it will be attached at the end as well.
Thank you, Dylan. And I apologize, everyone. I switched my computer to the other side, so I am disoriented. I'm right clicking. I'm sorry about that. So thank you, Dylan. And we are now going to take a break for questions and feedback. So I think Joy is manning the chat. And I know Steve already pointed out there's some questions. So we'll take some questions
Yes.
now.
Yeah, Princess has actually been answering a lot of the questions in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
But I can still go over the few questions that we got.
If you would, please. Thank you.
So the first question was from Lisa Martin Poor. She asked, how about the HUD 559? Is it acceptable?
I see Jillian shaking her head. I don't have the answer to that, but it looks like yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yes, it is acceptable.
PHA uses the means method of calculating income.
Okay. Our next question, thank you, Jillian and Sherry. Our next question is from Rebecca Cotto. She said, will these HOTMA changes take effect on our agency set compliance date? We have a compliance date of 1/25/2025. Princess answered that question and said, correct. DCA will implement on 1/1/2025, just in case anyone else had that question. Okay, this one was not answered. Miss Michelle Gardner said, under 50,000 for home, what is the best way to determine every 6th year to verify assets?
Yes, this has come up a few times. So the under 50,000, does anybody in compliance can speak to that,
Yes.
please?
So we've got a great example in our manual on page 172 of our manual that outlines when every 6th year is. So it's when you place in service and then every 6th year from that. But it outlines it for you if you want to take a look at that portion in our manual. But we have a nice section that helps you determine when every 6th year is.
And that's page 172, Jillian.
172 of our new manual.
Dylan, will you drop the new manual link into the chat, please, as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you, someone. Donna, were you going to add something?
No, I was just asking her to repeat the page number as well, so it's dropped in the
Jillian, I
chat.
dropped it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And
is it, oh, sorry, Dylan.
No, I was just gonna say, as everyone on the call can see, our manual is the holy grail of information. We utilize it heavily, and we always suggest that please reference it, please look at it, read it, absorb it to the level that I think that we have.
Thank you, Dylan.
Okay, we have three more questions, Tarika.
Yeah, please.
Taryn Lewis says, is it better to use a UA from DCA or the Housing Authority because the amounts vary quite a bit?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the choice. Go ahead, Dylan.
So on our website, we will have two different regions, north and south. So it's determined by where your property is actually located when you're thinking of the PHA UA. And then be mindful there are specific counties or MSAs within Georgia that have their own PHA UA. So Macon, Savannah, Gordon. So make sure that if you fall in one of those counties, you have to go with your local. If not, make sure you're looking at the map and using either north or south to determine where your property is located, which UA you're supposed to follow, and that will help you determine.
Okay, thank you, Dylan. Are W-2s required for self-employment? Should be a 1099.
You wouldn't get a W-2 for self-employment. You would have a Schedule C that goes along with your tax return. And that will give us the profit and loss statement of your self-employment.
Okay. Also, we currently have two properties, one in Fulton and another in Walton. Which UA should they use? They are tax credit bond properties. Each property is using two different UAs.
So I'm not sure where Walton is located. Jillian, maybe you're more familiar with
It's like
that.
south.
But Fulton County will have its own. If they're using the PHA UA, they will have their own schedule. And if Walton is in considered South Georgia, you would have to use the DCA South UA schedule.
Okay, thank you, Dylan. Someone muted me. Are we going to stop the questions, or was that a mistake?
No, that must have been a
No,
mistake. Are there any more questions?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
Okay.
yeah,
more
there
questions.
is. So for EMC UA annual updates, where a property has already been using the EMC model, should the required documentation be sent to SPT, the special projects team, or would the documentation only be required if a property is wanting approval to begin using the ECM model? Excuse me, I said EMC, but I meant ECM.
Yeah. So if your property has already been improved, so you currently have the energy consumption model as your utility allowance, yes, you would update it annually. No, it is not required that you send it to DCA for review or approval. Just make sure that you keep that documentation on hand because it can be reviewed and requested at any point in time. The only time that you definitely need to send DCA documentation or approval is if you're switching the methodology. So if you went from the energy consumption model to the HUD utility schedule model, that would require a methodology change. But again, it is nice, and we would recommend that you do send us in that documentation, but also keep it on hand for yourself. I hope that answers your
Okay,
question. If not, please follow up with me.
thank you, Dylan. And will there ever be discussions around mixed use properties that are post 15 and lessening the annual recent requirement?
It's a good topic. So is the question, are we up for discussion, or is it a particular project asking about that? Because that
Yeah,
is a
yeah, that's
project
kind of
concept change.
yeah, I was gonna say, and it is a kind of hypothetical, and so it's not something that we've discussed as of yet, but certainly I would suggest, posing it as a question on our, our formal platform. We'll take it under consideration even now for this purpose, and we'll be happy to get back with you and give us more information about the project or what have.
Thank you, Donna. Um, would you upload the UA information into Emphasis?
That's another Dylan question. Is it are they asking UA forms or?
I think they're asking about the annual update.
Yeah, I think that was a follow-up, because that was Miss Rebecca. I think that might have been a follow-up to the answer from her previous question.
So, and this is where I would ask that information is reviewed during your compliance review by us, even though we do recommend and do love when you send it in annually just to show that update, but we use it to verify your rents are correct. I think it would be appropriate for you to upload it into the certification portal versus emailing it to the compliance department. So I think uploading it in the certification portal under the miscellaneous tab or section and just labeling it UA update or UA annual update.
Hey Dylan, I can jump in. Yes, you should be updating and uploading your UAs with your periodic docs as well. So that when we do prepare your inspections, we have all the supporting documents that we need. We may ask for previous year and we may ask for current year. So I hope that does clarify.
Thank you, Imari and Dylan. We have two questions from an unknown user that is asking if someone is self-employed, is it required for them to file taxes? And also, if a resident is on their fourth year, are they required to be within the 140 rule?
No one here is qualified to give tax advice.
Thank you.
So that is going to be my first response there.
Thank you, Julian. Yes.
Yeah. And I would advise them to check the IRS's website to determine whether or not they should be filing taxes.
Okay. The second question was if a resident is on their fourth year, are they required to be within the 140 rule? Is that a tax question?
Are you speaking about the next available 140% rule? Can you clarify that question a little bit more for me?
Mute me.
If you're not able to unmute, if you could just drop it in or try to clarify that question.
Yeah, I'm not
Me.
sure. Are the
Can you unmute?
participants able to unmute, Tariki, if they want to? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Yes,
they can't,
we,
yeah.
I
Okay.
highly encourage you to unmute and come on camera if you'd like.
I see an unknown user. I'm not
I'm
sure
trying to
how to
find them
find
to
you. Yeah, I was
unmute
gonna say
them.
I'm not sure to how to
Here she
find you
is.
to unmute you.
She's here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tiffany. Can you clarify?
Yeah, so we're coming up with an issue where we have a resident that's been here for 4 years. And we thought that after the 2 year, you only had to qualify for the first 2 years. So now his income is over the current income limits. So we use preferred compliance. So they come back with a correction that we have to do the 140, the next available rule for this particular couple, because they're in the tax credit unit.
Okay, is it layered? So once qualify, always
Yes, we're
qualify.
layered. We're a mixed property. We're
Okay.
layered with tax credit and market units.
Okay, so once qualified, always qualified. So yes, that is correct. So what you would need to do is have them do the next available rule, and move them into a unit, which would probably increase it. It may put them at a market rate. I'm not for sure because I'm not actually looking at your income limits. However, you will need to fill or move another qualified tenant resident into that current apartment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or does your limits move with the tenant? Or is it just on that unit?
What we could do is if we had we can make them a market unit, and then when the next available unit come, we move in the qualifying tenant.
Yes.
That's in
So
the same building.
okay, yes, then you can do that as long as they're in the same building.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if your bins are set up or if you have to move them to another bin, then you may have to requalify them.
No, ours need to be within the same bin.
Okay, so yes,
So in the
that is
same
correct.
building.
So just apply the next available rural unit.
So the other question was, we have a tenant who never filed taxes and they're self-employed. Normally, we never had a problem. They've been here over 9 years. We never had a problem with renewing them with the information that they provide to us. But for some reason, this year with preferred compliance, they're telling us that it's required for them to file taxes. And they won't approve our file. So he's filing for his citizenship. So that's the holdup with him filing because he's applying for the. Come on. I'm gonna let my Corel, she's my assistant, explain more because she's been working on it more.
Okay, Jessica, I just
I
wanted to
think
clarify with you before you don't need to change the actual the income that's currently on that tax credit unit. You just need to move that resident to a qualified market rate unit within that building and then have someone else move into a qualified resident move into that current. So you don't want to change your designation.
Got you. He's to switch to
Okay.
market though. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but
If
not
he's
switch
over
the
the
designation
140.
of that market. Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, okay, we
Okay.
understand.
Thank you,
And
Tiffany.
then with the self-employed one, he's filing for his citizenship, which is preventing him from what he's saying from filing taxes. That's why he hasn't filed taxes.
So they usually fill out the self-declaration stating what their income is and provide, because he's self-employed within a company and usually provide pay stubs or bank statements of their income, but they didn't accept it stating that they are required to have the W-2s. Like, we can't force them to file taxes. I don't know what else to do with them because they are in the tax credit unit. But usually this has never been a problem until this year, or last year rather.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
are you saying that that person is employed with your company? Is that what
No,
you're
no,
saying?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. He works for a company, but he's a
A
self-employed
company, okay.
for that company.
Okay, I'm not sure if anybody on staff wants to take that one. I'm actually looking at that as a legal response. And so we would be happy to take that one. We may have to reach out to you individually to
Okay.
enable to be able to get you back a formal response to your question, okay?
Okay.
So we just need to make a note, if you would, Joy, of their contact information, please.
I'll type it in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany. Joy, are there any more questions in the chat?
I'm reading now. I see like some information in regards to um what Miss Tiffany and Correll were speaking about. They were asking, could he provide a P&L statement from a tax preparer or a 1099? But I don't see any new questions for us.
Okay, perfect. And then we're going to reach out to Tiffany after the meeting individually. Okay, so we'll be able to address that after this.
So I just will quickly say, you can check the HUD handbooks, Appendix 3, the 4350.3, Appendix 3 for the acceptable forms of verifications. If you're wondering what you could use, a 1099 is not listed on that document, just so you know. But check there if you're looking for what can be used to verify that type of income.
I have a question.
wasn't a
Does
problem
everybody
with
have access to the chat? Because somebody put some information in the chat that could help the question that they had. So I don't know if she can see it
it says
or not.
from the
Yeah.
IRS.gov.
And if not,
No.
we'll send it to you. We'll send it to your
Okay.
email, Tiffany, okay?
Okay.
Directly. Okay. All right. I think that's it for compliance manual updates, recertifications, and utility allowances. If no one else has any feedback for us, we're going to move to the next section. So thank you for your great questions, your very thoughtful questions, and we're gonna move on. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have regulatory updates, and that is going to be presented by Dee.
Good afternoon. How's everybody? So I'm Dee. I'm in compliance team B, and I handle a lot of the regulatory things that get submitted to us. Just kind of wanted to touch on a couple that are pretty big throughout the year that involve our partners. The annual audit certification, it was due March 1st. So at this point, it's late. Some people have received notices for not submitting an incorrect items. And if you get those, please respond back to me or respond to compliance, and we can help get you on the right path to get those corrected. And if you have home funding on top of LIHTC or home funding, TCAP or CHOTA funding, in lieu of LIHTC, there's an additional form that needs to be completed. I'm going to drop the link to the ALC landing page that's on our website that has the link to the other form and instructions on how to get it submitted. And I wrote down a couple of things that are just easy errors to make when it comes to filling out the ALC that will get it sent back to you. Is the leaving things blank on the digital form. On the digital form, there is an undersigned and an by. And those four portions need to be completed on our digital form. And the undersigned is typically the owner or the representative for the owner that the owner has allocated as a representative and the company. And that person would print that and sign it and upload it into Emphasis. Also, another thing is please be sure to check your set aside. Look in your alert. Check your set aside, make sure it's already filled in for you, but it's not yours. So you want to check it, make sure it's correct, because I don't want to have to send it back to you and then you get non-compliance notices. So that's great. The next up is HRR season. Our home rent review season is coming. It starts in July 1st. There will be looking in the blast for those dates to where they're due and when that season when the dues will end. And please, 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 just be sure to read everything thoroughly and making sure that you're uploading all the correct documents that are needed to go with that HRR, including your UA, your LERC, your LURA, and then your Nova, and there's a list of it on the form. And all of those things are very, very important because those help that transition get smooth. And please be sure to email us to let us know that you've sent it in, because we don't get an alert that says that you've uploaded your HRRs. We get an email. So send us an email to let us know that you submitted it, and that can help for a quick, smooth, and easy transition if we have all the things that we need and that you let us know that it happened. And of course, if you have any questions about either one of these things, you can shoot us an email at the compliance.dca.ga.org, and I'll put all that in the chat as well. Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you, Dee. And I also want to just say that there is an AOC, how to submit the AOC and how to submit the HRR. Training on the compliance training site. I don't know, Dee or Sherry, if you could grab those and drop those links into the chat as well. We're also sending out the presentation at the end of this meeting. And so all of the links, we're taking notes. Amy is somewhere on this call taking notes of everything, all the links that you all are requesting or needing. So we are getting all that compiled together. So we'll send at the final presentation will contain all the links and all the resources that we're referencing here in the meeting. But there is a training for both of those, how to submit step-by-step directions. So please do check those out as well. Thanks, Dee. We're going to move on and then take questions at the end. Princess is going to go over Inspire, please.
Hello, everyone. As a part of our ongoing commitment to ensuring safe and healthy housing for all of our residents across our portfolio, I'm pleased to announce that we have officially begun conducting Inspire inspections. The Inspire standard represents a significant step forward in DCA's effort to uphold the highest standards of quality housing and safety. The delayed deficiencies, as you all know or may not know, the Inspire standard introduced several new program requirements. This particular criteria will not be evaluated in the initial year, meaning 10/1/2023, 10/1 of 2023 to 10/1 of 2024. However, if those things are cited during an inspection, the repairs will be necessary. Those that are not cited are well, actually, I have a few, but it's about 6 or 7 of those, which includes the fire labor doors, any issues related to the fire labor doors, the guardrails, any deficiencies concerning guardrails, electrical, the presence of an unprotected outlet within 6 feet of a water source. The HVAC, there are different scenarios with the HVAC. For instance, if you have an inspection between October 1 and March 31st, ensuring that the heating system works and maintains interior temperature between 64 and 67.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Another scenario would be an inspection that will occur between October 1st and March 31st. The heating system the heating system not functional or maintaining interior temperature below 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And then another scenario, An inspection that happened between April, which is current time, and September 30th later this year, the presence of a damaged, inoperable, missing, or uninstalled heating source. The lighting, interior lighting is another requirement that will not be. I wouldn't say that we are scoring items because we're not scoring items. I just want to clarify those things. We are not REACT, which has the score. The IRS still monitors our program types that we do administer here at DCA. So the interior lighting requirement for at least one permanent installed lighting fixture in the kitchen and the bathroom. And then the minimum requirement for the electrical and lighting is ensuring either two working outlets or one or more working outlets and one permanent installed light fixtures are present in each habitable room. The common findings that I have seen thus far, because we have been out and about throughout our portfolio, is the GFCI testers. They are not within 6 inches. I think the measurements that we've been getting lately is 63 inches, 80 inches away. If we are citing those, and we will ask for you to have that repaired. The pest infestations, we have seen some pest infestation from low to severe. And just to give you a scenario of the low to severe module, if you have at least one live cockroach in 2 separate rooms within the apartment home, then that is considered severe and it will have to be remedied within 24 hours. The fire and safety, as I mentioned before, anything that is wrong with the fire door itself, if it's not labeled, if it's something blocking it as far as egress, will be something that we have actually seen through the few inspections that we have done thus far. The structural deficiencies, I'm talking about maybe the buildings itself. The buildings itself, some buildings we have seen are deteriorating, and that is a deficiency that is outlined in the standard. If you have any questions regarding Inspire, you're more than welcome to reach out to us at compliance@dca.ga.gov, or you can contact myself, princess.cato@dca.ga.gov. Thank you all for having us. That's it.
Thank you, Princess. And those emails and contacts will also be included in the presentation at the end. All right, so we'll take a break here for questions on regulatory updates and Inspire, as well as any feedback that you'd like to give us about what's working and what we're doing, what you like about what's happening in those areas or areas in which we can improve. So we'll take a break here for questions. Anything in the chat, Joy?
Yes, there are a few. I do see that Dee answered some of the questions. Someone wants to know if they went through a management change and now when they log into Emphasis it's blank. So what would you all advise for how they should move forward? I'm assuming with submitting AOCs.
No, that would be through SPT. So I'll let Jillian or someone from her team answer.
Okay, they didn't say for AOCs, but that's when the question came through, when Dorothy was talking, excuse me, when Dee was talking, but it says we went through a management change and now when I log into Emphasis, it is blank. That question was from an unknown user. So if you would like to unmute and further clarify, please feel free.
It's Tiffany again.
Okay.
So we went through a management change in June, and I noticed when I recently went into Emphasis because they haven't been on top of us about Emphasis, so I was trying to get ahead of the game. So now when I go in Emphasis, it tells us, my login still works, but like all the previous information with the tenants and residents' names and stuff, that's not in there.
So can you
gap
Oh, sorry.
between information. So I'm going to do is get your information, and afterwards my team will reach out and we'll talk to you a little bit more, and we'll find out exactly what the problem is and exactly where to go from there to fix it.
Because I want to know, because only reason why I'm really inquiring is because we're going through another sale again, and it's supposed to happen in next month. So we're gonna be switching management companies again. And I don't want to be, I don't want our property to be lost in the mist, because this happened before when I first started at this property 6 years ago, when they was going from Midas to Emphasis.
Okay, so yes, please hold off on reaching out to HFD Emphasis until Jillian kind of clears her team and gets an idea of what's happening. Then Jillian will actually guide HFD Emphasis, so that's the policy and development team, on the next steps that we need to complete for you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Jillian, I
And I was
sent
just
her
asking,
email in the
Oh, I'm sorry.
and I was
I
just
sent her
asking
email in
about
the
the,
private chat.
thank
I'm
you.
sorry, Tiffany,
The
go ahead.
AOC form, I was just wondering if that was something that the property was supposed to do, because I haven't seen nothing come through. So I was just wondering if that was something that was done by the property, or is it sent directly to ownership?
It's not something that the owner that is triggered to send to the owner. It is a form that is completed in the Emphasis certification portal. So typically, like someone who is designated as the
So that
super
would be
user
me.
or syndicator or the compliance specialist for that management company would need to complete it and have the owner sign it. Or if they are the direct representative for the owner, then they could sign it and have it notarized.
Got you. And I don't know if we have a super user for this property. We did, I mean, with this management company, we did with prior management, but I don't know with this one.
We're gonna get you all
'Cause
squared away,
nobody,
Tiffany.
I
It's
appreciate that.
You're welcome. We're gonna get you all squared away. No worries. Okay. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Tiffany and Joy. Any more questions related to regulatory updates and Inspire?
Keith did answer this question in the chat, but for those who cannot see the chat, I think it would be good to say it out loud. Ms. Teresa Parker asked, could or will Inspire inspections replace the physical inspection performed by DCA? And Keith answered and said yes.
Well, I would like to also add, for during the months of April through June, we are concurrently running UPCS and Inspire together. Just to be clear, so there are select properties that we will conduct the Inspire inspection, and there are some properties where we will conduct the UPCS. With the assumption that we will officially be live and effective for the entire portfolio July 1st of this year.
Thanks, Princess, for that clarification. Okay, is there any more questions in the chat, Joy? Okay.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, great questions, everybody. Thank you for participating. And all right, a quick check-in. We're about halfway through. It's 2 o'clock, 2:05. So we've blocked off 1 to 3 for this meeting. So we do recognize that this is a long one. Some of you might be losing your wits by now. If you have to jump off, please, feel free to do so at any time, at any point during the meeting. But just want to do a check-in, make sure everybody's hanging in there. We're all okay. Anything. Anybody just want to say anything off the cuff that's not related to compliance? All right, just doing a little sanity check-in.
Just
say
kidding.
that. What is it, Sherry?
Oh, go dogs. No, ma'am.
Just bringing everybody back. Yep, Princess.
I also wanted to clarify on the 100% LIHTC properties, the applicable forms that are needed is going to be the 5380 and the HUD form, which is the 9106, and not the 5382. So it's just the 5380 and the 9106 HUD form. And that 5380 has to be completed with the contact information listed within the document itself.
Thank you, Princess. Joy.
We do have a question. Someone, Patricia Hensley, she says, I am wondering why we need to provide formal responses to observations from monitoring reviews.
Hey, I can jump in for that one because she's probably talking about the breakdown of the physical and the tenant file audit reviews. So we're asking that all observations, comments, and deficiencies are being cured and addressed due to it may be some software issues and they can't type in their deficiencies and they may have to put them elsewhere. And then just overall, we want to make sure that property is in compliance. So we are asking that all three comments, deficiencies, and observations are being addressed with your tenant files and your physical reviews. And I hope that that helps. It's Patricia.
Okay, and we have two more questions. I would like to know how to submit a large FDIC monthly reporting file that cannot be emailed.
Yeah, so I answered that question, but I'll say it again out loud. You can email compliance.fdic@dca.ga.gov. However, please break down the email if you're not able to. Right now, FDIC properties are not currently in emphasis, so we still are receiving emails with the PDF files that we are doing for your monthly reporting. So if you do have further questions or if you need a walkthrough, you are more than welcome to send us an email. You send myself an email. You can send Michelle Everett, Jasmine, or you can just send it directly to our compliance FDIC chat, and someone will be able to address you and help you walk through those steps. Okay. And for example, I was saying like you can, if you have 3 emails that you have to send it, just do 1 out of 3, 2 out of 2, 2 out of 3, and then 3 out of 3. So we'll know that it actually goes to your property, and make sure you include the Georgia ID.
Thank you, Imari. And
You're welcome.
lastly, we have a question from Miss Elisa Arizola. She's asking, in reference to child support documentation, we are required to count the amount of child support actually received. Are you wanting payment history for a 12-month period, 6-month period, or payments received within the 120 days prior to the certification period?
Is this a recertification question? I'm sorry. I missed it.
Yes, for child support verification, she wants to know, would you, she said that they are required to count the amount of child support actually received. So are you all wanting payment history for 12 months, 6 months, or payments received within the 120 days prior to the certification period?
Okay. Is anybody on the call compliance prepared to answer that? If not, we can look into it, and I think there's a lot of information there. Can look into it and send an email back, unless somebody is prepared to answer that now.
She said this could be for move-in files or research.
Or research. Okay.
So I will tell you that our manual gives a wonderful example on page 139 of how we calculate child support, earned child support. So for guidance, I recommend checking out our manual. And I'll again put
Thanks,
the page
Jillian.
number.
And I attached a number for you as you were talking.
Page 139. Okay.
Teamwork. All right.
And Princess, Ms. Wanda asked, could you please clarify again about the 5380 that you just mentioned?
Notice of occupancy rights, and it's 8 pages long, and it gives the tenants the information that they need if they are a victim. And then it also lists the program type. It also lists your the owner agent's corporate office so that they could file a grievance. So all of that information needs to be completed. Otherwise, it'll be marked as non-compliance, because it is in our best practices to give the tenants of our portfolio or have that information readily available for them at recertification.
Thank you,
Did that
Princess.
answer your question? Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, for now, that is all of the questions in the chat, Tarika.
Thank you, Joy. All right. Oops. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you, everybody. We're going to management company changes with Jillian and SPT.
Oh, before I begin, I'm getting some emails from people who have joined us today saying it's nice to see your face. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. So glad that you're here. Hi, Kay. Hey, Barry, and everyone else who's joining. So just wanted to say that. Management company change requests come through the special projects team. They are submitted through a link online that you can find on our website. The team can also provide it for you if needed. It will be supplied also within these slides. The special projects team will review the management company's entire DCA portfolio, and we will determine if the portfolio and project meets all the compliance requirements, which includes uncorrected but is not limited to uncorrected non-compliance and emphasis reporting before we issue an approval. That means when you're looking for a management company change request, we are going to look at all aspects of your portfolio and make sure that all ducks are aligned before the torch is passed. Next slide, please. The filing fee for a management company change request is $500 for the initial property. Each additional property is $150, but that's not to exceed a $2,000 cap. The Georgia real estate license is required for third-party management arrangements. DCA accepts 4 LIHTC and home training designations, the HCCP, the C3P, the SCHM, and the NPCC. A third-party and LIHTC home compliance consultant is required if the minimum experience and training requirements cannot be met. Please check out our manual for those requirements. Changing management companies without DCA approval. You know, I tell my kids I'm one of those people. It's not ask for forgiveness. I'm really one of those ask for permission first. And so is DCA, it turns out. We really like y'all to ask permission first before you change management company, before you change management companies. Otherwise, it may result in a couple things. So let's talk about that. It could result in a fine of $250. That's our non-compliance fee. And if that goes uncorrected, it continues monthly. Our the company's good standing status may be impacted, and future allocations may also be impacted. The downgrade of approval status, and you can see more information about that within our manual. Increased frequency of DCA inspections and file reviews. Increased unit sampling size for inspections and file reviews. And the owner will be billed for costs of inspections triggered by non-compliance concerns. So please reach out to the special projects team if you're thinking about a management company change. Reason why, after Princess's team does an inspection or one of our vendors goes out and does an inspection, why it's so important to cure non-compliance, other than the obvious reasons as people live there, and this is these are their homes. This is the building we want to keep for the duration of the program. We want to make sure that we do, in fact, have strong, vibrant, and safe communities. But what it can also do is create this domino effect. If there's ongoing non-compliance, it may trigger a resident concern. If a resident reaches out through our system, we address the issue. Now, if unfortunately it's not remedied according to regulation or policy, it could result in a management company demotion or the owner's inability or ability to receive future awards. Now, this again is an extreme, but there is a domino effect. So it's more than just the obvious of people live here. We want to make sure that we're protecting all aspects, the residents, management company, and the owner. That's it for my slides. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jillian. All right, we're moving to questions related to management company changes and open items and/or feedback that you have about any of those areas.
Okay.
Mhm.
I did want to, Michelle Nuzzo had put a compliment in the chat during our last session, and she says, I just want to let you know how thorough and helpful your manual is and how much we appreciate this town hall. I work with many state monitoring agencies across the nation, and your organization is super responsive and a pleasure to work with. So thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
And we did not have any questions. Oh, also to all of our guests, the emails for all of the management team as well as our director and assistant director is in the chat. Oh, and we got another compliment from Zach Plumstead. He said, we recently worked with DCA on a management change and it went smoothly. Thank you for your help. He is with Vantage Management LLC.
Yeah.
And we don't have any questions currently.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you all for the positive feedback. That's wonderful. Okay, how we doing? Moving along. Thanks, Joy. All right, so we're going into important reminders, timelines, and updates with Amari.
All right, so we'll just jump right into it. As you all may know, we are in the middle of inspection season. So if you haven't probably already received your inspection, you may be having an inspection that's coming up, or you are preparing for your inspections. A few house rules that will help your process go a lot smoother. Once your inspection is completed, you do have 15 days from the time we send you your notice of inspection to the date of your inspection day. So day 15 is inspection day. However, when we do send out the notice of inspections with your timelines at the bottom of the email, we do ask that you follow those promptly and in a timely manner, and that you get all your pre-audit docs back to us, because it is time sensitive and it just keeps the flow of things moving. I also will drop a picture of that timeline so you all are aware of what I am speaking of. Sorry if my computer will not freeze. Okay, there you are. So you can see that day 1 to day 15 of the steps of how we go through our process in reviewing your documents. So health and safety, I would say, will be your number one. Making sure, because we are still doing the UPCS review. So you have the 24, 48, 72 hours that you need to cure your health and safety violations. Please do not wait until you receive your findings report to cure those health and safeties. Those need to be submitted and uploaded to the emphasis certification portal under the miscellaneous tab. If you could so kindly label it health and safety, it will help us so much to helpfully go through the process of actually curing your documents and getting you back into compliance. For your cure responses, once you receive your findings report, you will have 45 days to cure. However, if you need an extension, please do not wait till the day it's due to ask for an extension. So at least give us a week to 2 weeks in advance when you know, like, hey, my report is coming up. I know it's due, but however, we're waiting on a vendor. We did not get to finish completing The findings, please reach out to that CEO that is assigned to that property that is assisting you so that it can be passed along. Also include those work orders or those third-party vendor contracts in case you do have to use a contractor. Send all supporting documents in at that time you are asked for an extension. It makes our process of reviewing a lot easier to approve that extension, and then we will extend it based upon the time that you need to actually cure those findings. All right. Non-compliance notification invoicing. So once you'll get this once it's at the closeout period of your inspection or audit. Once you receive a closeout email 8823. However, if you do have open items at the time that you receive those 8823s, we are asking that you cure those quickly and in a timely manner so that we can get you back in compliance. However, if you're not, you will receive an invoice via Joy, but it is still attached to the CEO. And you'll see her copy them. Please respond with the invoice of paid and also making sure you attach those cures into the inspections certification portal, or you can email it to the CEO. However, we do prefer that you upload that into the emphasis certification portal. Once that is completely closed out, you have up to 3 invoices. Once you receive your 3rd invoice, we will pass you along to the SPT team, which is Jillian's team. And they will take you from there and they will handheld you until you cure all of those non-compliance findings. I hope I didn't go too fast. I hope I didn't lose anyone. Okay, we can keep rolling, Tarika. All right, so same for your file audits and your inspection reviews. This just goes a little bit more into detail and where you can find all of the steps that I just went through on our website. And it literally gives you step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way to step 8. So all the way to your closeout stage. So if anybody needs assistance or needs to refer back to it, and it was a lot of information, please feel free to go to our website and it will list all the all of the steps and all of the documents and forms that I am actually covering.
All right.
Thank you so much. Any questions?
Yes, thank you, Amari. And this is just showing that form, the steps, and I think there's one more slide that shows the form as well. Yes.
Yes, so our PIF form. This is very, very important. This is also called the property information form. So if you do a management change, if you decided to go or someone has left your property, please, please, please make sure you are filling out the PIF form that is attached when you receive your notice of inspections. Even if you're not up for an inspection and you have someone leave your company or you have someone added to your company, please refill out a current PIF form and send it back to us so that we can get the appropriate people added to either inside of emphasis or just added to the email chains of correspondence and communications to you all as well. And yes, thanks, Jasmine. You can drop it at the compliance@dca.ga.gov to make sure. Another thing that I want to say is if there's a CO that has sent an email to you and a PIF is attached to it, and you want a lot of people added to that email thread and it's not enough space on that form, please include that in the body of the email so that we will know to attach that person or people moving forward, so that all parties have that communication. So yeah, thank you for that. Also with the FDIC, because I do know that there were some questions asked earlier, I just want to go ahead and address the FDIC. Michelle Everett is our main point of contact for FDIC. However, you can Jasmine is the backup, but you can actually just email all your questions to compliance.fdic@dca.ga.gov. I dropped it in the chat, but I'll re-drop it in the chat just in case it was lost. But all FDIC questions can be emailed there. And we also updated our monthly checklist for FDIC, and it also be included on our monthly blast, and we've also included it on our website. Jasmine, if you would drop the checklist in the chat as well for anybody who may need it. And then that's all the updates that I do have. Thank you.
Thanks, Amari. All right, we'll stop here. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
We're going to take a break and we're going to stop here, put a pin in that for important reminders. Any questions, related to important reminders, timelines, and updates, or the audit inspection review process. And of course, or any feedback that you'd like to share.
Tarika, while we're waiting, there aren't any current questions in the chat right now, but
Okay.
while we're waiting on them to come through, I do want to say something that Imari said, put it on my radar. So when you receive, if you are invoiced by DCA, I just wanted to this past week, a lot of people have been asking about electronically paying their invoice. Unfortunately, we do not have an electronic payment option. You do have to pay by check. You can mail the check or you can bring it to the office. I do ask, I'm Joy, I'm the administrative assistant for OPM, and I do process all of the checks received. So to ensure that they go to the right place in a timely manner, when you are paying an invoice, please send with the check a copy of the invoice that you received. A lot of you guys may have more than one thing that you have been invoiced for or that you're asking for. So it helps tremendously when I have a physical invoice to be able to use as a guide so that I can know exactly which property this is for, which concern is for, or something like that. You know, if you have like a management company change, but you also have a non-compliance fee or something like that, having that invoice to show me what this check payment is for makes it a lot easier for myself as well as for you, you know. So when you're mailing in payment, please remember to submit it with an invoice. And you can also, at the bottom of the invoice, it tells you exactly where to address it to. So box 20, attention Joy Hardiman. That way it will come directly to me, and it will just kind of cut down on any back and forth that may arise. And of course, if you still have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is at the bottom of the invoices.
Thank you, Joy. All right,
I
still
just
no
want to jump
questions?
right in, Sarika. It's not allowing me to drop the FDIC monthly checklist in. However, I will either send you the link or I'll send you a copy of the attachment. So when you send it out to our partners.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, just once again, all the links, all the information, everything Amy is compiling, I'm sure very rapidly at this point with the questions coming in, all the questions and everything that you guys are suggesting or bringing up or asking. So we will be providing all the links, all the resources, all the emails with the presentation. Okay. So you don't have to frantically take everything down. Okay. Are we good to move to the next topic, Joy? I lost you on my screen, but.
Yeah, there are no questions in the chat right now. We can move forward.
All right. We're moving into reporting, monthly reporting requirements with Sherry, who's representing the policy and development.
Is it my turn? Hey, everyone. So I'm going to make this probably speedy because like all things in this new IT world, my Teams is going in and out. So if y'all see me drop for a second, do not worry. I'm making sure my work cell phone is close by so I can just transfer right on over. But monthly reporting, I do want to make sure to bring everybody's attention to monthly reporting. It is due on the 10th of the month for previous month's tenant data. And we do need those timely submissions because of hopefully everybody knows, or if you don't know, we also have to answer to a higher authority. And that means data submissions that have to go in, monthly reports that have to go in. And if we're not reporting that data correctly, that does directly affect how much we can actually put towards not only the allocation of tax credits, but also support why tax credits are so important for affordable housing. So we do want to make sure that everybody understands that that monthly report reporting is required. It's why we put it in our blast each and every month. We do need to see that. And so we will also start making sure that we follow up with properties that are not reporting monthly, so that we can, one, let you know, because we do understand there's always staff changes or different things going on in your environment where it might fall to the wayside. And so to help you get that back on track and put it in perspective, we do want to make sure that you are notifying us if there's any issues or corrections needed. And if not, we are fully expecting for that monthly reporting to be submitted on time. I do know that right now we are working through and we are working through a troubleshooting ticket with emphasis regarding move-in dates. So we've heard everybody's concern and we are definitely making sure that we are working with them on some solutions. So please bear with us. However, that would need to be notified to us ahead of time. If we do not know that information, we are fully expecting you to do your monthly reporting. We are going to be having an updated emphasis manual on our website soon. So hopefully everyone on this call is already using the emphasis manual if you have any questions or concerns. And that is going to be updated to also reiterate about our monthly reporting that we would like for you and need you to submit on that we would like for you and also need you to submit, as well as give a little bit more information for the frequently asked questions and concerns that we received prior with the old emphasis manual. And then also what we've noticed is that we have not been getting or we have not been seeing a lot of notifications to tenants for properties that are coming out of the 30-year restriction period. So what we will start working on is reaching out to those properties, for example, properties ending December 31st of 2024 that are ending naturally or naturally coming out of, not through decontrol or anything, but just naturally coming out of our LIHTC program. And these are for 30 years. If it's more than that, as far as your restriction, we will definitely address that as well. But for right now, we are tackling those properties that are hitting the 30-year period, and we will be sending you a template, and we will be making sure to post a process on our website so that you know how to reach out to your tenants as well. I do want to do some quick reminders just to let everybody know. Emphasis, we are also making sure that for right now we do file transfers. So if you're going into certification portal and you're not seeing your documents there, do not panic. What we're doing is we're just getting those files transferred over into our private servers. The reason why is because at this time, Emphasis is still growing. It's just not a cloud storage yet. So in order to make sure that we're not causing any undue issues, stopping any software updates or messing up anything in the system, we are removing those files to make sure that there's room and there's space to do the constant submissions that are needed for everybody. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. My information is in the chat. If you've already emailed HFD Emphasis, the ladies already know what to say. Again, it's Jasmine Hawkins and Marbetta who man that email account. But again, it is something that we are doing. It is nothing that you have done wrong. And there is a chance that we might re-ask you for that information if needed. So please make sure that anything that you are submitting to us, you are also for yourself auditing, taking notes of that information so that you're aware of what you've already submitted to us. The other thing that I want to notify is that there will be a small change on our blast starting around June because we will be transferring from the current blast or constant contact that we use right now to MailChimp. So more information, of course, on that will be in our blast as well as our website. We'll make sure to keep everybody updated. So that's another reason why we do want to make sure that everybody goes ahead and signs up for our blast so we can download that distribution list and have a correct one. And we don't miss you when we get re-uploaded into the new system. Let me make sure I am not missing anything else. Okay, I think that is all I have. File transfers, MailChimp. Okay. So that's all I have for mine.
Thanks, Sherry. Okay, do we have any questions related to monthly reporting requirements, non-compliance issues, and next steps and/or feedback?
Tarika, will this presentation be on the DCA website where our guests can go and access it to avoid them all having to drop their emails in the chat?
Yes, and we lost a little volume for you, Joy. Can't
Oh,
hear
I'm
you.
sorry. I was saying, will this PowerPoint be loaded on the website? Because someone asked in the chat if they should all drop their emails, but I think it would probably be better if they can just go and get it off of our website.
Yep, so I can, what I can do is go ahead and once we get all the resources and links in there loaded where you found the link to the town hall meeting, what that was on the compliance training site, I can go ahead and publish it there. That might take a day because I have to go through the communications team to get it uploaded, but just give us a day or two and we will get it up there. So yes, thank you, Joy. That's a great
Okay, I'm
question.
sorry. I just learned my microphone was up. That's
Oh.
why you couldn't hear me. Sorry. But
Okay.
someone else is asking. They said they would love a training on how to use emphasis.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to do that. And I can take your email or send you the submit form. I will also add that how to request training for emphasis on the links and resources in this presentation. We can drop it here as well. So thank you. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. And that's what all of the concerns were about training on emphasis. And we don't have any other questions right now.
Okay, these questions were amazing. I do want to just take a moment to address, there was a question that I dropped in our chat. Just, I didn't get back a chance to go back to that, but I know someone submitted a question previously and I wanted to acknowledge that. And thank you for submitting your question beforehand. We appreciate that. And if a property is 100% LIHTC and 100% home, so I'm guessing layered LIHTC and home, can we complete the modified recertifications every year except the year the home full certifications are required? That's the first part of that question. I know there was some discussion around that, and I'm sorry I wasn't looking at it, but did anybody have a response for that? I know we did look at it earlier. We were a little confused about the modified recertification language.
The tax credit portion, it's fine, but for the home portion, like this person asked, every 6th year in the affordability period, you will have to have source documentation.
Okay, and I think yeah, thank you, Jillian. And there's a two-part to that. So the second part of that question says, can modified recertifications be used on 100% LIHTC properties that are average income properties? Can modified recertifications be used on 100% LIHTC properties that are average income properties?
The set aside doesn't matter. A set aside is a set aside is a set aside. It's whether or not the project is 100% applicable fraction. And that's what that 100% refers to. So.
And just to clarify and piggyback off of Jillian, I do want to make sure when you're saying modified research, that's what you're talking about, the newest update where we said that 100% LIHTC only can just do the following student status. So, okay.
I thought so. That's how Laquana and I read that earlier.
Gotcha. Okay. We are recording, so I'm making sure I'm clear.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry.
But if we do
Okay.
need further documentation or supporting docs, we will ask for them.
Mhm.
I just want to put that clarity out there.
Okay, so we have, thank you, Amari. We have like 20 minutes left. So I'd like to just open the floor for any general questions now. If anyone has anything to ask, general, not about a specific case. If you do have questions about a specific case, then please email us and we'll talk about that offline. But if anybody has any other general questions, we'll take those now. If not, I will also ask the team the same. If anybody has anything pertinent, burning that they know they want to share day-to-day basis that we did not address here in the meeting and that you think needs to be shared, please unmute and share now.
For me, I would definitely be interested with the people that we do have on call regarding feedback. What's working in areas? Where can we improve? I would love for just everybody's kind of ideas. I love the fact that we are being responsive, that we're helping. And so we really just want to make sure that we are still helping and then also generating more of that, listening to your responses and cues as well.
Yeah. Now's your time. To our
Could we
partners.
even ask questions with like day-to-day dealings with DCA caseworkers, housing specialists? I'm sorry. Because sometimes we haven't been getting like all of our rent increase letters back. So when we send up the rent increase letters within the time frame, we're not getting response back if that person if the rent increase was accepted or not.
I guess I can answer that question. That sounds like ACV. That is the wrong department. We're the Office of Portfolio Management for
Okay.
LawTech, even though we do have ACV integrated within LawTech properties.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
Okay. Well, can I
sorry, Donna.
just maybe close us out and thank everybody again so much for participation today. Kudos to our team. You guys have done a phenomenal job, so I'll say that. As well as thank you all for soliciting and sending in your questions and our team responding back. And we also look forward to working with you all. Please just remember the dates that have been talked about today, those items that are already in a delayed status or may cause non-compliance and things like that. Our team is here to assist to make sure that you don't stay in that status if that's where you are. But we're all kind of committed, hopefully, to the same thing, which is, making sure your properties are in compliance and that the residents are living in safe, affordable, and decent housing. So keep that in mind and know that that is what our mission is here at OPM. And if there's anything that our team can do to assist to help you get there, please feel free to reach out. We'll be very transparent. Take our emails down, contact everybody that's on here. You have me, you have the managers, the staff, everybody. So take advantage of your resources, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you again.
Thanks, Donna. It looks like we have one or two questions that up just as we were
Yes.
closing out. Okay.
Yes, we do. Natalie Sanders asked if a DCA inspection required additional information for a cure, is it required to follow the new 2024 guidelines for correcting those cures, even though previous cures adhered to previous guidelines?
Are you referencing the
Yeah, I was getting
UPCS
ready. Sorry, Princess, go
standard?
ahead.
Okay. Are you referencing the UPS standard or Inspire standard? And
She- Okay. While we wait on her to, I guess, clarify in the chat, would you want to go to the next question, Tarika?
Please.
Okay, the next question says, just went through, this is Barry Nix. He said, we just went through an inspection. Results were sent to me as a PDF. One explanation of a finding was a page long due to page setup. Could it be in Excel instead?
No, it can't be in Excel. It will only be in PDF. However, maybe you can send it back or you can reach out separately with your question to see if there was something off with Adobe. However, we will only accept the PDF format. So if you could send us a separate email and maybe we could just take a look at that particular closeout or that report to see how we can be of assistance to you.
Okay.
And
Thanks, Amari.
Miss Natalie Sanders, if you would like to clarify, you can either drop in the chat or you can unmute. don't know if she's still on the call, guys.
Okay. Well, what we can do is, Amy, can we take this question down as well? And then we'll just have that answered and we'll publish it with all the questions and answers. Also, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but we are going to compile all the questions and answers and publish those as well. So that will be on the DCA website. And go ahead, Joy, I'm sorry.
No, she responded saying she reached out to SPT last week. She's just waiting to hear back.
Okay, perfect. And I'm sure they will get back to you and we will be able to get that resolved. So thank you for your question. Here is a short list of links and resources. Of course, we had no idea the questions that we would have. And so we will come back and edit the links and resources with all of the corresponding links. And just to echo Donna's words, thank you so much on behalf of OPM. We really appreciate everybody's participation. Thank you so much for coming. I just want to say that if anyone's been to a town hall, I participate in a lot of community events. It's the most daunting thing to come to a town hall. You never know who's going to show up, if anybody at all. And I just want to say thank you again for our partners, for showing up, for your participation, for your engagement. Thank you so very much. And one more thing, we would all be remiss if we didn't thank Joy for manning the chat at short notice. And we'd like to say happy administrative day to Joy. Thank you so very much on the day. It's just befitting. So thank you so much, Joy. Princess has one thing to close us out.
Yes, I would like to ask if Ms. Natalie Sanders, could you just hold on the line until everyone falls off, please?
Thank you, guys. Bye.
She left the chat, Princess.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks. This was awesome.
We'd like
Thanks,
to
guys.
thank Tori and Kiana as well for Admin Day, along
Yes,
with
absolutely.
Jasmine.
Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a great afternoon.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, for the notes.